welcome to Caketastic Cakes. I'm going to show you today how to make this really cool pjmasks cake. I'm going to show you how to make the masks, how to make the decorations on the sides, and how to make it all come together and look really, really good. So first you start with a mask. We're going to use gum paste with this. I'm using the blue gum paste and I'm cutting out the Catboy's masks. All I did was go online, print out a template, boom, done. So there you go. I'm just cutting out the basic shape, the outline of it, and then the eye holes. And once you get those pieces cut out, I'm going to take my pressing tool, my shaping tool there, and I'm just going to make pressure marks where the ears go around the top of the head. And I'm also going to kind of press down a little bit on the ear just to make it a little bit at a different height to separate it out from the rest of the mask. And then I'm going to put it aside a little bit, and using a darker blue color, I'm going to cut out the stripes. I'm just freestyling this. His mask is pretty basic. You guys can handle this. 3 little small stripes on each side. I'm just making little triangles. I use water on my paintbrush to attach them, and just place them how you see it on the template that you print out from the computer. If you want to get real specific, you can match them up perfectly, but it kind of isn't necessary. What I'm doing here is I am matching up the size of that middle stripe on the top of his head, because I want to make sure that it's not too big or too small and doesn't come down too far. That little kind of weird shaped piece there is going to be the side of the top of the head where it's the 2 stripes kind of blended together, you see? Kind of like a little mountain range. And what you do on the one side, you're going to do on the other. So I just flip it over, put it back on the gum paste, and use it as a little mini template so that they're the same size and the same shape. Just make sure you flip it over, otherwise you're going to have both of them going the same way, and that won't work. So once you get them both cut out, like I said before, use a little bit of water on your paintbrush and stick it on there. That's all you got to do. And he's really pretty easy. The masks are pretty easy. This was a circle I cut in half, and now I'm just making little crescent shapes out of it. I don't know if you can guess what this is going to be, but I could tell you because you're going to know anyway. These are going to be his eyebrows. That's all I did there, is just nip off the edge because it's flat on the one side and pointed on the other, and put them into place. That little triangle-y shape there you see me cutting, those are going to be for the ears. It's going to be the inside of the ears, and it's the same as last time. The size and the shape I did on the one, I just flipped it over and copied it, so they're the same size and same shape. So he looks perfect. Put it aside. Okay, now we're going to do Owlette's mask. Same thing again. You go print it out of your computer, find a mask, find the size you like. I know that there's the headpiece where, that curves across the top. There it is, right there. I had cut it out separately. This is actually a different shade. It's a little bit lighter. You can't really tell, though, in this picture because the lighting is not that good, even though everything I do is awesome and perfect, I will admit. The lighting's not the best. So, yeah, that's all I did. I cut it out separately, made it a little different shade, lined it up, and then pressed it on. You can see it makes the mask part come forward a little bit, but that's fine. It just kind of gives it a good look. I'm making those same crescents that I made before with the black. These are going to be her eyelashes. And this time the thicker part goes on the outside. So it's kind of narrow on the inside and thicker on the outside. Once you get that put on, put it aside, let it dry. Now we've got, I forget this kid's name, the lizard kid. There you go, we'll call him Lizard Boy. So I cut out the mask, but I didn't do that little horn thing on the top of his head. So we're going to come back to that. But what I'm doing here is I'm using my square cutter to make the scales. All I'm doing is pressing in the tip just to give kind of the scale pattern, and I just make rows and rows and rows of it. And if it looks like it's missing anywhere, just go back and fill it in again. And there's that little horn that I put aside before. This is, again, a lighter shade of green. You can see it later, but my awesome lighting doesn't show it here. So I'm using that original mask just to line up where it sits, stick it in place, that same lighter shade of green. Once again, making those crescents, cutting off the one tip for the eyebrows. There you go. Now put these aside and let them dry. You're going to get them 24 hours. They really have to firm up. All right, this is my cake. It was just chocolate cake. It was an amazing chocolate cake, I will admit. It was delicious. I ate the scraps. I won't lie about that. It was really good. And what I did was I went online. I'm going to divide it into 3 sections, and I wanted them to be even. So I just went and found a pie graph that was divided in 3, printed it out and cut out the center. I measured with the tape measure to find the actual center of the cake and then tried to put it down as centered as possible. I am extending the line so that way I have the 3 sections divided and I know which each area will be, because each area will now be designated to each of the 3 characters. So I'm just putting marks on it in the icing. And yeah, this is just a nice little cheaty hack that works really, really well. I'm going to start with Owlette first. Having now made this cake, I realize I should have done her last, so keep that in mind if you guys are following along. But anyway, we're going to pretend this is the right way to do it. So I used light pink, and that's a leaf cutter. I think it's a rose leaf shape. And I'm going to pretend that they're feathers. I used that, what color is it? Kind of a burgundy color to outline each one. I attached it with a little bit of water to the end of the feathers to make the burgundy stick. And then using the knife, I kind of just pressed in just to get that ruffled edge back because the outline smoothed it out. And once you have a bunch of them done, start sticking them on. And just stagger them, stick them on, stagger them, stick them on, keep going, keep building. And yeah, you can see it's going to overlap a little bit. That's going to happen. It's not the end of the world. Don't worry, the cake still comes out really cool looking. Just make sure they're lined up nicely and spaced evenly as best you can. Okay, so there you go. Just imagine that you just keep going. I'm readjusting because that's how I roll. All right, so there. Yes, you can see how it came out. It actually looks pretty good, I gotta say. I did good with this one. Go me. Anyway, we're going to do the Catboy next. I rolled out blue, and this is fondant, by the way, guys. I'm sorry I didn't mention that before. This is not gumpaste, this is fondant. So, now we got the blue fondant, and this is where I said I should have done the feathers last. This is why, because now I got to lift those feathers and place the blue underneath of it, and it certainly is doable. Kind of a pain in the butt. Should have been thought out a little better, but, you know, live and learn, right? So there you go. I've got little wrinkles, but smooth, pinch, lift, cut, trim, tuck it under. There you go. So now you've got the blue. And what's left is going to be the green, but that comes later. So now I'm taking dark blue, the same colors as before, and I'm just starting to cut out some tiger stripes like his uniform has. And I just cut out a bunch, and I try to make them the same size, and if they curve one way, I'm going to have the same amount curving the other way. Try to keep it symmetrical, because that really makes the look of the cake come out nice. Once you get the stripes, start sticking them on. There's no rhyme or reason to this. I just put stripes on however I saw fit. You're going to see later that I have one of the bunchy stripes all together. This one here that I'm making. Kind of how he's got that multiple stripe on his head. I did one of those. And that's what I'm trying to do here. Everything, I think I said it already, but it gets attached with water. Nice and simple. It's not hard. Just take your time with it. That's the big thing, is just take your time. And also, I forgot to mention, but I had the cake in the fridge for like 20-30 minutes before I started decorating it, so the icing and everything is nice and firm. It's not going to smush or sag, so that really helps. It's a nice little trick there. And I added some stripes to the top, and you see that big old wrinkle there and gap in the middle. I'll cover that up later too. The green I'm doing here is a lighter shade of green. It's still the fondant. I am making scales to represent the, I don't know his name, Lizard Boy's scales on his costume. It is just another leaf pattern. I don't remember what kind it is, but it comes in a Wilton kit. And I cut it out, and then I'm just making the print on it just to kind of give it a little more decoration and interest in its appearance, because it was kind of plain and boring otherwise. So just like you did with the feathers, start sticking them on. You pretty much don't need to add any water to this point because the icing grabs onto the fondant very nicely. And just make sure you overlap the 2 edges. And there you go. You put it all together. Again, see the feathers? Yeah, I had to lift up some of them in order to get the scales under there. And you see in the cat at the top there? Yep, where I zoomed in suddenly. Anytime you get any type of imperfection in your cake, cover it with a decoration. That's all you have to do. You can make it look totally intentional, and you can hide all kinds of things. Now, once everything is done, you've had 24 hours to let everything harden. Take your masks, attach little wooden dowels or something to them to make them stick. place them on top of each section, and there you go. You've got a really, really cool PJ Masks cake. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. If there's anything you'd like to see, please let me know, and I will catch you all next time. Thank you. Bye.